Welcome to Drive Your Journey. I'm your host, Fred Arnold, and all of us are looking for ideas and inspiration to drive our journey. So we're going to interview experts that are passionate in their field to help you drive yours. So today I'm with Credo consulting expert Scott Jette. Scott, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Fred. Good to be here.
I've had Scott on many other shows before, Out of the Rough, as you remember.
Yeah, I do. It's fun.
Author of Corpse Wisdom, a field manual for life. Easy for me to say. You're a former Marine.
Yes, I am.
Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
I love it. We're gonna talk about this book later, but
Great.
I want to talk to you right now about your work helping companies with their financial management. And what are some of the challenges that you see companies are faced with, or mistakes they made when it comes to their financial health?
Well, there's basically most companies that we work with, that we see or interact with, aren't that good at cash management, at managing their cash. And there's three ways to look at your cash, either in the present, the past, or the future. And they tend to get bogged down in the present because of the pressures of the needs they go
Survival.
through. Survival, exactly. Can we pay the next bill? Can we make the next payroll? So it's understandable they end up there. Mm-hmm. And then when you talk to them about why they aren't planning ahead, they say, well, there just isn't enough money. If we have more money coming in, we could plan ahead. They don't realize there actually are decisions they can make now that would affect their ability to bring in more money. So they make the decision to either come with us and start looking forward, or a lot of times they'll say, well, it's time to get professional. We're going to bring in bookkeepers and accountants, and we're going to start doing this right. And that's a good move because it's good to have that. But everything accounting does for you, everything bookkeeping, and we provide bookkeeping, so I'm not dogging that out. It's a very important skill. But everything it does looks backwards. Mm-hmm. Your P&Ls, your balance sheets are all talking about last quarter, last year. And the most you can get out of those is look at them and go, well, that was a mistake. We shouldn't have done that. But we did it, and we can't fix it now. So we want to get companies doing, and we help them do, is formulate reports that help them to look forward. Mm-hmm. So everything's looking down the road. Where am I going to be in 6, 8 weeks, 3 months, 4 months? If I make this decision now, how will it affect what's going to happen next? Right. Then they can make more intelligent decisions now before it's a mistake and understand all the ramifications that'll come out of it.
Yeah, love that. And you're forward-looking, driving your journey, moving forward, right?
Exactly. Always thinking forward.
One of the things I'll share with you is when our industry has challenges probably once every 4 years. We have a recession in the mortgage industry.
Sure.
And I find that my most creative solutions when it comes to money and financial decisions come from my employees.
Yeah. You got to include the team, absolutely, because they're where the rubber meets the road. They're making it work.
They'll find where the cuts are. They'll find where you don't want to cut.
They know. They know. You got to include them in the process because they know.
Love that. Well, what are some suggestions you have on growing a team? Because some companies do make mistakes when growing a team.
Yeah, we see a lot of that. And unfortunately, a lot of people grow their teams the same way I do my gardening, and I'm a terrible gardener. So it's not a good model to follow. And what I do is I see a space in the yard, and I buy a plant and fill it. And it looks better, and it meets the need, and I move on, and then I do another plant. And then I kind of feel like I've built a garden, but when I look at my neighbor's garden, I realize how horrible mine is, because they had a strategy. They actually knew from the beginning what they wanted the end result to look like.
They had a plan.
They had a plan. They weren't just plugging holes. And the problem is once you start hiring employees to plug holes, I need someone to answer the phone, someone to do the bookkeeping, someone to do the mail. You're just filling the immediate need. You're not thinking, what skill sets do I need on board that are actually going to get me where I want to go? And once you bring them on, maybe to do a particular task, you start flooding them with all these other tasks because you're busy and there's a lot going on, and they start to lose whatever focus they originally had. If you actually strategize, where does my team need to be in 18 months, 2 years, 5 years, then every hire you make is towards that end goal, and you actually develop the team you want to have. And one of the things that gets overlooked a lot right now with small companies is how effective outsourcing is becoming. We get a lot of companies, we do bookkeeping, so companies call us up and say, will you do our payroll? And I say, well, why would you ask us to do your payroll when ADP and Paychex do thousands of payrolls a day? We could never be as good as they are. When you hire them, you don't just hire a payroll person, you hire one of the most effective companies in America to do this for you. Why wouldn't you bring that skill set into your company? They think they can't afford it, and they can.
At a minimal cost relative to what it would cost if you hired it.
Very minimal. Like when you hire us, you bring us in, you're not just bringing in the one person, you're bringing in the entire team, plus our connections, our CPAs, all less than the cost of hiring a full-time employee. So you've got all these, again, 10, 15 years ago, this wasn't so effective. But now you've got these companies, because of technology, that can be helpful from a distance, and you're bringing in real experts that small companies couldn't afford in the past, and now they can. And they're cheaper than bringing in a lot of times employees. And so you're hiring an entire team and an entire skill set rather than just one person. Yeah. So it's definitely something to look at.
Yeah, I love that. Also, you mentioned something early on in this topic was you hire somebody, you realize you're overwhelmed. Yeah. If you're making photocopies and you're the main salesperson, if you're taking out the trash and you're the main breadwinner for the office, if you're doing a lot of tasks that somebody else could do at 15, 20 bucks an hour, 25 bucks an hour, then that's essentially the job you're doing. But your genius is something much greater than that.
Yeah, you've got to run your company, not work at your company.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. You get bagged down with those tasks, and all of a sudden you're not doing what only you should be doing, because you're the only one that can do that.
I love that. And it starts with trusting. You got to trust yourself and trust others.
It's a huge part of it.
Yeah,
Huge.
I think it's a huge part. Let's talk about nonprofits. I know you are passionate about nonprofits.
We do a lot of nonprofits. Probably half our clients are nonprofits, and we've launched over the last 10 years or so. We've lost track of how many nonprofits we've launched. They'll come to us, and we'll set them up with the IRS and getting everything set up, get all their paperwork done, and then just let them go. And we find is probably, now that we've been watching this for so long and seen so many, probably 70% of them never make it off the launch pad.
Oh, wow.
They just don't go anywhere. And the reason is they're passionate about a cause. They're very passionate, and they want to see it happen. And they've got all this dream that they want to accomplish. And they've been told, if you're passionate and you have a dream, you're golden. And you're really not, because you need skill sets and other things to make that dream happen.
Discipline
might be helpful. Persistence. All these things that aren't necessarily the fun part of the dream.
It's like anything else, right? When you have a dream to move forward in anything in life, it doesn't matter what it is. Yeah. You've got to get past the excitement that started you on the beginning of the dream to fulfill the dream. You got to get past that initial excitement and get into the hard work.
And get into the hard work. That's exactly right. And what a lot of them do is they'll launch, and they'll be passionate, and they'll get their first little bit of money, and they realize that as much as they care about this problem, they don't know how to solve it. Mm-hmm. They don't know what to do with the money. Right. A good example would be like, I care about single moms. You probably do as well. But if somebody walked in here now and gave us 10 grand and said, go help single moms, we wouldn't really know what to do with it. Right. But you look at Single Mothers Outreach here in Santa Clarita, which is a great organization, give them 10 grand, they know just what to do with it,
right.
Which is why they exist as an effective nonprofit and made it off the launch pad. They know how to apply the funds to the mission. And most nonprofits can't make that first step of applying the funds to the mission. They don't really know how. Yeah. And the next thing they'll do is they'll try, if they actually accomplish that and get off the launch pad and start moving, is they'll build a team, but they won't build an effective culture, because nonprofits tend to default to the family culture. They're very compassionate people. They become a family, and they work together, and it's a comfortable work environment, but families aren't really meant to be effective. They're meant to be supportive and loving, but not necessarily effective. What you want to build is a professional team, not a family environment where you can't challenge each other. And if you don't build it with intent, it won't happen by default, because the types of people that start nonprofits end up in a family environment. They've got to intentionally break that mold and build an effective professional team.
We're going to jump to a quick break and spend a few minutes on corpse wisdom, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Core wisdom, I should say. Those who want to reach out to you, though, that are checking out, how can they reach you?
They can our website at www.credo.bookkeeping.com, and 661-505-3583 is the number.
Great. Stick around. We'll talk about your book.
Sure.
Great.
Thank you.
We're going to jump to a quick break.